For me, when I first saw the hashtag #MeToo movement go viral on Facebook, it was very important to me. It meant a lot to see that there was this new platform for women to speak out and be brave and raise awareness to such an important issue. Sexual harassment and sexual assault is far too common. It happens far too often. And this photo shoot is an opportunity for me to raise my voice and hopefully help raise awareness on the issue. So I am beyond proud to have this amazing group of women come in today, and hopefully we can open some eyes and open some ears and make a difference.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Come on in. So we're just going to talk a little bit about what Me Too means to you. Whatever you're comfortable with, you just put it out there, and then we're going to take your photos and just have a good time with it, okay?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Well, the Me Too movement was a really great thing when it got started. I identified with it immediately.
I think what was really powerful about it is seeing how many messages and stories people had from the Me Too movement.
I am a victim myself of sexual harassment, both in my personal life and actually in my work life.
Pretty much every woman that I know has gone through something like this, has been harassed on the streets, has dealt with harassment or abuse in a relationship.
It's opened up a dialogue among friends, among sisters, among family, among men and women.
So I supporting other women who've gone through it, personal relatives, sibling who's gone through it.
I was discussing it with my mom, who's the closest person to me, and she was reading a lot of the things that people were putting out there and realizing that all the things that she had internalized her entire life were things that were wrong, and that she didn't even realize it. It happened with such frequency to everybody in her field, constantly on a day-to-day basis, that at a certain point you have to dislodge. And so she started remembering all these things that had happened to her, and it felt really personal.
As somebody that's worked in the entertainment industry for the past 10 years, I have definitely had my fair share of sexual harassment. A music producer told me that they were going to produce my hit single, and we recorded all week long, and I thought it was going to go great. And then Friday rolled around and we finished recording for the day, and he and I went out and had some drinks to celebrate, and then he started hitting on me and tried to sleep with me, and when I said no, I didn't hear from him for the rest of the weekend. And then on Monday he dropped me and told me that it wasn't going to work out between us anymore, and that I wasn't a good enough talent, and that I should go find someone else to work with. That's something that happened to me 3 months after I moved to Los Angeles to work in this industry.
I mean, I myself have dealt with sexual assault, I have dealt with groping, I have dealt with being a server and having clients be a little bit too handsy.
It's more than just bringing awareness, it's letting us realize that this is a real problem, and the amount of women that have stories or instances that have happened, to see the prevalence of it on my timeline or anywhere in the news nowadays, it's alarming. I think something that is mistaken is that this just happens to women, and it doesn't. It definitely, I know my share of males in my life that have had this happen to them, whether it's sexual assault or sexual harassment. It is a thing that is throughout the ages. For myself personally, like, I've had a story, and it took me 30 years to finally open up to it and admit it and talk to people about it.
I've definitely been through my fair share of abuse and sexual harassment in relationships as well. My first boyfriend was extremely abusive, I guess is the best word to use. And ever since then, it kind of set me up for failure in terms of dating and my romantic relationships.
And at a certain point, you start to believe that it's your fault, that it's something that you're doing, especially when you're around other people that don't support you and don't see that what is happening to you is wrong.
A lot of times you do see it, it's just you don't notice it because it is so prevalent in the day-to-day basis. It does happen to men, there's no denying that. But what we see frequently as an anomaly is a day-to-day experience for most women. And the fact that that still exists, that that's still prevalent, and that is still a thing in 2018 is wrong. It's wrong, it's absurd, and it has its roots in, centuries of oppressive behavior. And as intelligent people, we need to do better. And you can't do better without diagnosing the problem, because it's not going to stop unless all of us, of all genders, gender identifications, races, religions, all of that, we all have to agree and work at treating each other as equals. And that cannot happen in any kind of sexually oppressive society.
#MeToo became very real for me back when the Brock Turner case came out. And I sat down and I read this woman's letter that she read aloud in court, telling this man how sexually assaulting her was going to affect her for the rest of her life. And unfortunately, that hit home for me. Her courage, her voice, her bravery, everything that she said gave me my voice and gave me the courage to speak out about what I had been through. And it's so important that we have a voice, and nobody wants to talk about sexual assault. It's not comfortable to talk about. It's not something we enjoy talking about, but we have to talk about it. The only way to create change is to shed light on the issue. So this is my contribution to hopefully serving that purpose.
And so having this movement come about was a really personal and really touching thing to see that this isn't just a me thing. This isn't just a one woman issue. This is every woman, everywhere.
Now we can build awareness and make a change and let people know that this is a problem and that it's not okay and that we're all in this together.
But until it gets to the point that we feel safe walking down the street at night and not having to carry our keys in our hand or mace in our pocket or be scared that we're going to get raped or murdered, then we need to keep talking about it. And we have to keep fighting for this.
In the end, we all have a story, and I'm so glad to be part of this photo shoot, to be among these amazing women who are sharing their story, and I really hope that lots of men as well as women come forward with it.
This movement is an opportunity for women everywhere, all over the world, to raise their voices and be heard, to do our part to bring sexual violence, sexual assault, and sexual harassment to an end.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.